Good afternoon. Trust you are doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Thrive Agric Employability series. Um, Today is Thursday, of course, the 16th day in the month of March 2023. And time check is exactly 1 minute past the hour of 3 p.m. And my name is Cynthia Ijoma Izala. I am your moderator for today's great event. I hope you're ready with your pen and jotter, probably even have your phones to note down very important things you're going to be leaving, out of this event today, because the Youth Employability Series is an expository webinar series, which is organized, of course, by Thrive Academy in partnership with Thrive Agric and Cross Africa to empower young people, of course, with veritable skills for increased employability and to equip new graduates, core members, and of course, active job seekers with fundamental enterprise and soft skills that would help them become better positioned, to secure their dream jobs and excel, this 21st century workplace, and of course, make better career choices. And of course, this is our maiden edition for this series, and it's themed Get Employable. Does it ring anything in your head? I hope it's actually singing. Get employable. I know you're ready to be employed. I know you want to get a better job, that job of your dream. Then, of course, you are in the right place. Okay. And today we have a profound faculty of seasoned human resource professional who shall be, facilitating each of the training session in the series, and of course, sharing from their wealth of knowledge gained over the years of practice in human resource management and giving out premium content. So today we shall be having the head of people and culture for Thrive Agric and Cross Africa speaking on the employability and employability skills. Trust me, guys, like joining this workshop would most likely change your life in a positive way forever, okay? Just make sure you put what you're going to be learning today into action, and of course, take intentional steps into practicing what you're going to be learning to build your career, to make yourself highly employable by different brands and organizations. So please permit me to brief you on what Thrive Agric and Cross Africa does, okay? Thrive Agric is a fast-growing agricultural technology company, and we are passionate about ensuring food security in Africa and the world at large. We empower smallholder farmers, we leverage on our technology to access finance and also improve productivity and sales to promote food security. On the other hand, Cross Africa is a financial technological company which is dedicated to accelerating agricultural prosperity across Africa by providing Okay, sorry for the break in transmission. I beg your pardon. If you're just showing me, you are okay. I was muted, and I think if you can hear me, can you just drop in the comment section that you can hear me, because I was muted and I'm back now. I would truly appreciate that.
Hi, Cynthia, we can hear you. Please go on.
Okay. Sorry again. I was actually muted. So like we were saying, right? If you're just joining us, you're highly welcome to our maiden edition of employability session. And of course, I was actually about to give the house rule for today's event. Please note that attendance would be taken at the end of the session. And of course, we'll be having assessment on our Thrive Academy. And if you perform well, of course, certificates will be issued. So it means that if you want to get the certificate, you definitely need to pay attention to every detail of the session. Also, we're having the question and answer segment. Do note that questions will be asked at the end of the segment, the end of the presentation, which should be done by our amiable head of department, of course. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, the time is here. The time has come where we'll be having a significant segment, of course, by the head of People and Culture Department, Thrive Agric and Cross Africa. She would be sharing from her wealth of knowledge gained over the years of practice in human resource management. Please, ladies and gentlemen, join me, okay, as we welcome Mrs. Favor Eze. And please drop in your welcome messages in the comment section, okay?
Hi, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Favor Eze. I work at Thrive Agric across Africa. Okay, and today we're excited to bring this series, the Youth Employability series. And like Cynthia has already explained, we're passionate about helping people be better. And that's why we're having this session. So quickly, because we have a lot to talk about today, a lot to delve into. So I'll just get right into it. Please get your questions ready because we'd love to answer them. Now, today's series, that's for the March edition, we're talking about Get Employable. Okay, and welcome to today's session, of course. What we'll be talking about today, all we'll be looking at is the concept of employability first, the difference between employability and graduateness. Okay, they are not the same. Employability skills in the 21st century workplace, okay, and also how to develop employability skills. It's very important. There's an extra at the end we'll talk about, we'll just touch on, because the truth is when we talk about employability, there's so many things to talk about. But we package this session in such a way that you're able to get value and get perspective on what you're supposed to be doing as a young graduate, or you just stay working. So stay with me. Okay, my name is Favor. Like I mentioned, I'm a senior human resource professional certified by HRCI, that's Human Resource Certification Institute. It's a global human resource body that manages HRs globally. And I'm certified by them, also certified by CIPM. That's the body governing HR in Nigeria. I'm a certified talent manager, and I'm excited to be doing this with you because for me, young talent is my passion. I'm very young, as you can see, okay? And I got this information I'll be sharing with you very early in my career that got me where I am today. I'll tell you for a fact that my career has been on a very fast pace. And so I'm so passionate about helping as many people as possible, as many young people as possible to also, fast track their career, be excellent at what they do, and also get to the top as soon as possible. We don't have to follow the era where you have to go through the whole circle going around before you get to where you're going to. You can actually get there fast, on time, and with quality. Okay, so again, stay with me. Now, talking about employability, it begs the question, why? Why are we even talking about employability? Hey, I'm done with school. I'm done with school. Some of us were anticipated after university, we will be getting the job. But the truth is, the work dynamics has changed. From the Industrial Revolution to now, it has changed. So in the 21st century workplace, occupation-specific skills are no longer sufficient for graduates to meet the labor market. So it's not enough that you study accounting or finance. In fact, a quick check or a quick idea is the fact that today, some of the things we do after studying in school, okay, they are not in the curriculum of the university. Content manager, social media marketing, and all of those, they're not in school. So it already tells you that something is needed somewhere. And I tell you this now, employability skills, it is, okay? Employees nowadays are expected to have additional set of skills and attributes called employability skills. So if you want to be employed, if you even want to be an employer, so this is not just for people that want to be employed. If you also want to be an employer, you need to know and have these employability skills, because that is how we thrive in today's place of work. Okay, that's how we thrive. So it's very important. And I hope I've been able to convince you why you need this. What is employability? Employability is an assessment of the economic worth of a person, graduate in this context, at the time of employment. Okay, it means that beyond your certificates, I tell my team a lot, I don't want just focus on certificates. Excuse me, Nigeria churns out hundreds of thousands of graduates every year. So the truth is, if we're churning out that number of graduates and somewhat in a sense, okay, some of these people are not able to get the job they so desire. So there might be job of what they desire. So what is the missing point? Employability. It is your economic worth. And as we go through this outline today, as we go through talking about employability and employability skills, I need you to reflect and assess yourself. How employable am I? What is my economic worth? Okay, to any employer or to any organization I'll join. Is it just my BSc or MSc? Because nowadays I see a lot of people, they go further to have MSc. It's not enough. I've met a lot of even PhD people that they're not employable. Okay, so it's not enough to have your certificate. What's your economic value? What else are you bringing to the table? Who are you? What are you giving to the company beyond your certificates? And again, some people, I study biochemistry, for instance, but I'm in HR. So you find out that it's not necessarily what you studied in school, but what are you bringing to the table? What value? Stay with me again as we go through this. Now, we'll talk about employability and graduateness. Okay, we needed to create this distinction so it's clear in our head, because a number of people, they have the expectation that once they are graduates, once they are done with university, they should land a job. In fact, they don't understand why employers will not just hire you. Do you understand? They just say like, I'm done with union, especially those that graduate with 2-1, 2-2, rather first class 2-1. They already have the assumption, I'm done with uni. You even find some, and it feels bad to mention that, but I remember a colleague of mine, a classmate of mine that graduated with a very high 4 points, but not a first class. And then in his job quest, I had to help him submit his CV very young in my career. But he couldn't land the job. I know he was smart. In fact, in uni, he used to take me through some courses that were difficult, okay? And I know he's very smart. But then he wasn't employable. The feedback from the hiring manager then was that he won't fit his communication. He doesn't know how to articulate his thoughts, a number of things like that. So the fact that you're done with uni with a very good CGPA, it's not enough. You need to be employable. And now let's look at the screen and hear what we wrote here. Graduateness may be seen as a state of level of knowledge, skills, and understanding. Employability is concerned with the way in which those who have completed university courses can be assimilated into national and international work environments. So you're a graduate, yes, BSc or MSc, you've gotten the knowledge, but now how you transfer that knowledge into the workplace, those things you know, how you transfer it into the workplace is what is employability. Okay, because I tell a lot of young graduates, I tell them that how you operate in most federal universities, I went to a federal university in Nigeria, okay? In most federal universities, it's not how it operates in the workplace. So you need to unlearn a number of things. For some people, they come with timidity. You know, you feel like when you express yourself, your lecturer, you know, the lecturer vibe is going to victimize you or do something. For some other people, if it's not timidity, it's their looter spirits where you're aggressive, where you feel like you need to make your point. No, it varies. The fact that you're done with university, great. or polytechnic, as the case may be, is great. How do you translate that knowledge and apply it in the workplace? That's what employability seeks to address. And that's why we're having this session, so that if you're an undergraduate or fresh graduate or NYSC, okay, you need to understand that being a graduate is not enough. I need to know how to apply whatever I'm doing. Like I said, I studied biochemistry, okay, but I'm in HR, I've been in HR. In fact, I started from my first career, my first job was in HR all the way. So how was I able to translate those things I got in biochemistry to the HR profession? Employability skills is the gap. Okay, now, what are employability skills? Employability skills are a set of basic, generic, and attitudinal behavioral characteristics that are believed to be essential for individuals to secure and sustain employment and also progress in the workplace. That's very important. So for you to even attract the job, there are a number of things that are important. You get to see it, and then, like I said earlier, assess yourself as we go through this. Okay, do I have these skills? Am I relevant in the workplace? There are a number of hardworking young people I meet, but quite frankly, I'm hesitant about how they fit in the workplace. And that's because they don't possess the employability skills. Are they smart? Yes. But there are some skills you need to have to make yourself appear employable and, of course, be employed. Okay, so quickly, let's get into why it's important, okay? And then we'll talk about the skills itself. Like I've mentioned before now, in the current economic climate, employers look beyond the certificates you want. They look for skills. Great. You graduated with a first class. Amazing. I love first class because it tells me about diligence and hard work and you being principled. But good and fine, put that aside. What else? What other skills do you have? I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I just want to start asking questions. Are you digitally savvy? Do you know how to communicate? Do you know how to build interpersonal skills? Do you know how to use technological equipment? We'll get to that later. So that's to tell you that your first class, great, fantastic, your high 2-1, but even your 2-1, great. Okay, how are you able, to apply those? And what are the skills you have beyond those? Especially in a time like us where somewhat is looking like what you study in university is not so important as to what you can offer when you're done. So also, today's graduate need not only the technical skills to perform specific tasks, they also essentially need to have the employability skill sets. Attitudinal, communication, attitude, problem solving, teamwork, a lot of them. We'll look at them shortly. Okay, so it's very important. And there's something I need to mention also. At Travel You Can Trust, what we do is when we're hiring people, we look for people, not just people that can get the job done. We also look for people that can become CEOs. So the question each time we're hiring someone is, can this person potentially grow to be the CEO of the company? Of course, potentials, the person doesn't know all of it, but there are basic skills you have. Communication, how you present yourself, articulation of thoughts, a number of them. So it's very important because it's not just getting the job, like the definition about employability skills we mentioned. Okay, let me quickly get back there. It's also about how you progress in the workplace, because some people, for whatsoever reason, they got lucky, they got a job by a relative, but they are stuck in that job. They can't go beyond that job. So it's very important to have employability skills because it helps you get a job and it also helps you progress on the job. So you're growing through the rank. So if you're on a job and you feel like you're stuck somewhere, listen, you might be doing something wrong and you need to just make adjustments. Okay, so talk about the employability skills. There are 8 groupings. Like I said, if we start listing out everything you need to do, it might be overwhelming. But listen to this and assess yourself against this. Okay, communication skills, teamwork, very important. Okay, problem solving skills stands you out. Initiative and enterprise skills, planning, organizing skills, self-management skills, learning skills, technology skills. We'll look at them shortly. How are you, do you even possess this? Maybe you possess it potentially. Are you exhibiting it? Are you exhibiting it the right way? Quickly, let's look at communication skills. Now, in the workplace, in the place of work, communication is everything. I remember on my first job, when I was to send emails, In fact, somebody gave me a feedback that my email sounded rude. Excuse me, I didn't mean to. Why would I be rude? I'm just young. I want to grow in my career. But that feedback made me start intentionally learning how to write emails in a pleasant way, in a way it doesn't come across as rude. Yes, there are some emails that are rude. Okay, maybe not rude. For example, a simple example, capitalization in the world of work. Capitalization sounds like you're screaming. These are a number of things you need to know. There's verbal communication, non-verbal, written communication. Your verbal communication, are you articulate enough? Can you articulate your thoughts and communicate it for the other person to understand? And the truth is, if the other person you're communicating, communication is a two-way dialogue. If the other person you're trying to communicate with is not understanding, then the communication is not effective. So can you articulate your thoughts in such a way that the other person, first and foremost, doesn't lose interest? You're able to hold the person's attention and communicate what you want to do. Can you check that? Your non-verbal, what's your body language? Imagine I'm sitting down in a meeting, and for instance, or I go to an interview and I'm sitting in a sluggish way, or communicating non-interest, sending the wrong message. Yes, there are non-verbal communications. I see some people, they are rolling eyes in an interview. And so I excuse them, especially if they are young people, because I understand that some of them don't know these things. Excuse me, please. Some of them don't know what we're talking about. They're rolling their eyes. They're giving body gestures that communicates lack of interest. It's very important. Written communication. I recently even corrected somebody that sent me poor email. You're trying to send an email and your capitalization, your punctuation is bad. It already tells that this person, nope. So you need to look at all these things. I mentioned verbal, non-verbal, and written. It's very important. Business writing, talk about written, business writing. If they ask you to write a report about this session we're having today, can you? Check. Okay, so it's very important. And the truth about this, as we go on to talk about a number of things, you can learn some of these things online. There are a lot of platforms that you can learn, have free access, come to trainings like this. When you see there are a lot of trainings, even everywhere on LinkedIn, you scroll through the street of LinkedIn, you see a number of trainings, get on it, equip yourself. Let's move on. Okay, talk about the next skill that is very important, teamwork skills. I tell you, I've been frustrated working with some people. They don't understand the concept of teamwork. They think it's either their way or the highway, and it already makes you appear as a toxic person. And sometimes when you interact with these people, not because they want to be difficult or toxic, but the fact is they're used to having it their way. They don't understand how to negotiate. They don't understand how to, compromise here and there just to make the goal achieved. In fact, most times they put the goal before, they put themselves before the goal the team is trying to achieve. So even if you work well on your own due to great self-management, you can manage time, you're on time, in full. Being a team player is a valued skill for most jobs, I tell you. This session we're having today is an outright teamwork example. A lot of people are playing behind the background. Everybody's pulling in their resources to make it work so you get value. If Favor wants to do everything, I'm not sure it's going to be as good as this because I can't be everywhere. And I don't know everything. I need my team members. They need me contribute. Do you understand? So it's very important understanding teamwork. And most times it has to do with psychology. Sometimes our experience, where we're coming from, affects how we approach teamwork. So it's very important to know that you need to be a team player. It is not your way or the highway. You cannot be wiser than every other person. Okay, combine your wisdom, work towards a goal. Okay, please get your questions ready because I'd love to take them. Problem solving skills. Oh my God! Like I said earlier, if you're a problem solver, you're an asset to any business. You're an asset. And it's a good time to just brag on my team. My team, literally everyone is a problem solver. Everybody's trying to demystify a problem. In fact, when there's an issue, they're demystifying it, coming up with solutions to you to say, okay, this is the problem, these are the alternative, which should we do? Do you understand? It makes every manager or every employer feel like you are not a pest, you're valuable. Think about it, there's an issue. it's good to be able to identify problem, but have you thought through it? There's also something called design thinking, okay, where you're putting yourself, on the recipient part, and you're analyzing, what would this person, if I'm in the recipient's shoe, what would I do? It's very important, and you have to develop it. And one way to develop it is not to run away from problem. It's not to shy away from them. Engage your mind, in fact, research, push yourself beyond boundary. It's very important. Problem solving is a complete process of understanding and defining the problem. Okay, brainstorming a solution, finding alternatives, implementing the best solution, and making adjustment based on the outcome. It's this encapsulates it. Okay, you understand. Sometimes you want to attack a situation, but that's not the main problem. There's an underlying problem. There's a 7 why approach. Okay, you ask, why is this? There's a problem. Why is this problem? Why is this problem? Why is, before you get to the root, so you can address it, define it, come up with solution. You will just differentiate yourself. You make yourself stand out. And no employer wants to lose someone as valuable as a problem solver. Also very important is the initiative and enterprise skill. Initiative means taking steps to improve a process by oneself. You're managing a situation, and it even starts from uni days. There's a process you're managing, but there's something you're doing, and it's stuck. It's just the same way every day, year in, year out. You're not thinking of how can I improve. You're not thinking it's just the way they gave it is the way you want to hand it over. No, you can't be that person. Okay, one must be adaptable to accept and learn new ways of doing things, because the truth is that we're in a very complex situation. The business world, the world of work is very complex. There's something called VUCA, okay? That's VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. VUCA, you can check that out, VUCA. That's why you need this, constantly improving, because you can't be, if you continue the way you are, okay, you'll be outdated, you become obsolete. Likewise, businesses, they want people that can take initiative, that can look out, spot an improvement opportunity and adapt. Okay, there's a Chinese proverb that says the wise adapt themselves to circumstances as water molds itself to the pitcher. You know, water in whatever container or form it is, to just adapt to fit. That's how it should be. It speaks to flexibility. We'll talk about that much later. Okay, self-management. Self-management skills allows you to maximize your productivity, improve your workplace performance, and efficiently achieve professional goals. Now, what is this saying? It's saying that, how do you manage yourself? Your time management, always full of excuses. You don't, I forgot. You know you're very forgetful. You don't have writing material to note what you're supposed to do at what time. You don't have a structure around, oh, when should I sleep? When should I wake up? Am I an early bird? You need to understand yourself and manage yourself. The worst case is when people are coming late for interviews because of one excuse or the other. Manage yourself, okay? It's very important because it helps you maximize your productivity and it gives you the right branding. So it's very important to manage yourself. Now, learning skills. I cannot overemphasize this. Most of the things I've even mentioned, if you're committed to learning, you will find out, or in fact, you will go much more to, you'll be curious enough to find out much more than what we've said here. You need to have that as a person that wants to be employable. Because the truth is that I'm a manager, it's not everything that I will tell you. In fact, if it becomes everything that I will tell you as a manager, maybe you report to me, then I don't want to deal with you. Because the truth is that I'm thinking for you. And how you can think for yourself, learn. Are you curious? There's LinkedIn Learning. You can engage your friends, share courses, and listen, be curious. There's something happening. There's something new. If you're in a product space, are you in communities where you're learning about the latest products that can solve this problem? When you encounter a situation, how do you tackle it? Do you give up or you go and research and learn more about to address it? It's very important. It's very important. For instance, you find someone that are coming to interview and they did not read about the company. And I'm like, whoa, you didn't read about the company. So what are you coming to do? Do you understand? So it's very important to be curious, develop that hunger. It will stand you out. It will stand you out. Reading, going for meetings like this, Okay, engaging in intellectual conversation is very important. Being open to new ideas, techniques comes from reading. Having enthusiasm for ongoing learning, skills that contribute to ongoing improvement and expansion in employee and company operations and outcomes. And the truth is that when you develop yourself, your company will benefit. And that's why they're looking for people like that. Okay, the next one, which is the eighth one, technology skills. You know, Chat GPT is here. So many things are here. If you don't have technological skills, I'm sorry, you, even in the civil service industry, they are upscaling, okay? But if you don't have technology, you don't know how to use the internet, you don't know how to, you know, you're not digitally savvy. Digitally savvy, you can check that out if you don't really know what it means. Okay, it means knowing how to walk your way around a system. It's very important. Technology skills are the abilities and knowledge needed to interact with computer-based technologies and perform technical tasks. Without shame, I'm a Google advocate. I learned from Google. I can research. The newest tool I want to use, Chat GPT, I use it a lot. I use it a lot. What you need to develop the hunger, and it can start by you asking questions, meeting people around. You heard something. In fact, I was discussing with a colleague sometime last month, and he mentioned something. Immediately, I got on my system. I started trying to understand what that is. You need to have that skills, know how to use phone. Don't be that person that's, oh, I don't know how to use that tool, John. No, you need to know it because that's where the world is going to. Just like typewriter, we moved from typewriter to computer. Now we're moving off it. Okay, so it's very important to even understand so that you be at par. It's very important. And also, like I mentioned, this is add-on. From everything we've said so far, there are top 15 skills by the World Economic Forum that is needed today. It somewhat encompasses all we've talked about, but I needed to highlight it so that you will see the word, this report, the job reports as at 2020, but this is still 2025, and you can quickly assess yourself. Are you analytical? Analytical skills, analytical thinking and innovation. Are you analytical? I talked about innovation. Do you innovate, or once something is handed to you, it's that way forever and ever? Or are you constantly improving? Active learning and learning strategies. We talked about learning skills. Are you actively learning, or they have to push you to go and learn? What's your learning strategy? Do you do bite size? Do you read? What's your strategy? You need to be committed to it. Okay. Complex problem solving, we talked about that already. You need to be able to demystify problems. Don't be afraid of problems. You need to solve it. Companies need it. Critical thinking and analysis. Are you able to analyze? You can start with little things. When something happens, pause. Even in your own daily life, reflect. What caused this? What could I have done better in this situation? Sometimes you even preempt. Okay. Sometimes you even preempt issues and analyze how you will address it. Creativity, originality, initiative. Do you take initiative, or they have to tell you everything? And don't be afraid to fail. Because some people, they are worried about initiative is being afraid to fail, or getting it strong. Come on, you don't know the boundaries until you match it, and they tell you, oh no, that's the boundary. Okay, express yourself. You learn. There's no failure. You're just learning how not to do it the next time. Okay, leadership and social influence. I wanted to talk about this. Very important. So, can you influence people to do things that you want them to do? It ties into the communication skills we're talking about. Leadership skills. A number of young people run away from leading. Come on, leading helps you. Leading helps you. Leadership helps. It makes you responsible, and it makes you level up. Okay, it's very important. And your social skills. Yes, you can be an introvert and you still be a great leader. While I'm the introverted person, you can be. Okay, technology used, we just talked about monitoring and control. We just talked about that. Okay, I don't want to get a new solution and I have to babysit you everything. You cannot navigate your way around a solution. No. In fact, with how fast-paced the world of work is now, nobody has that time. Okay, technology design, programming. Okay, this is especially for those in the tech space. It's very important. Resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. I need to dwell on this a bit. A lot of people cannot stretch themselves to achieve what they want. Immediately there's a little bit of inconvenience, they're out of it. No way. Like I said, the world is a place of VUCA. The world of work is VUCA. The business environment is VUCA. It's volatile, stable. There's no certainty, and it's ambiguous. So you will face challenges every single day. If you run away from it, then I don't need you on my team. Okay? Stress tolerance. How are you able to stretch yourself? Okay? Of course, every day you face one challenge or the other. It doesn't mean that you overwhelm yourself. Okay, which is the self-management we talked about before. But how are you able to stretch yourself? Some people, they can't do anything that will stress them. For instance, let me use for the NYC, and this is just a random example. On your CDS day, after you go for CDS, and then you have time, there's something to be done at work, and you have time, you're like, oh no, should we CDS? There's no need. You're not stretching yourself. That flexibility is needed because even the business owner is stretching himself. Reasoning, problem solving, ideation. I've already spoken about that. Emotional intelligence. Okay, emotional intelligence is how you are able to manage the other person's emotion. I just use that summary. You are okay, assuming you are the same man. In fact, let me play this scenario. You meet a madman on the road, and the madman is screaming at you. By the time he starts screaming at the madman, everybody will think you and the madman, you both are mad. Okay? Rather, emotional intelligence means that and it applies in the workplace, because in the workplace, you meet a lot of unreasonable people in one way or the other. And maybe they're not always unreasonable, but there's something, remember, we're in a pressured situation, so some people burst out, like they can't manage their emotion. But you responding to the emotion means you're not emotionally intelligent. So you should be able to manage yourself and manage the other person, in the sense that you want to get something out of this person, so you manage that person till you get it. Of course, without undermining value and the goal, in the process. Troubleshooting user experience for UI UX guys, especially service orientation. With the way the technology is going, we are quickly evolving into chats like inhuman activities, or we're not able to empathize. It's very important to be service oriented if you want to stand out, because that's what will keep you. In fact, all businesses, that's what will keep them till like into the future. So you as a person, you shouldn't be, and I'm trying to look for a better way, you shouldn't be selfish and just thinking about yourself, you and only you. Know you need to be service oriented. What can I give? How can I give value? Okay, how can I help the next person? It also helps your social skills and your social influence. Okay, system analysis and evaluation, also very important, especially for the guys in tech space and data analysis. Persuasion and negotiation, key. Because if you don't have this persuasion and negotiation, there are some things you never get, because some people will never budge. So you need to know how to persuade, you need to know how to negotiate. And the thing, like I said before, is that you can learn all of these online. We've listed all of these. You've probably been assessing yourself up until this point. So it's very important for you to go back and recap. Where am I missing it? Where do I need to improve? And that's what events like this, trainings like this, sessions like this are supposed to stir up in you. What can I do better? Okay, so in summary, or rather before we get to the summary, tips for demonstrating enterprise skills to employers. So we've learned all of these things. This is how you can apply it to be employable. That's if you've not been employed or if you're on a job. Update your CV or resume. Recently, I asked someone to send me her CV, and snap of a finger, she sent me her CV. I saw an error. I asked her to make a correction. She made the correction ASAP and sent to me. Oh my, I was very busy, but I had to stop and forward the CV to the person that will consider it. Because for me, it shows me that you are ready. It's not having, I need to update this CV. Likewise, or somebody else that I saw their CV, I'm like, is this CV in this year and time? No, this person cannot be hired, because your CV already tells me about your personnel. If you're diligent, if you're hardworking, or if you are lazy. Because some people develop lazy CVs. And lazy, not because sometimes lazy, intentionally lazy, they don't want to put in the work, but sometimes it's lazy, not researching to put in the work. There are many ways. You go to Canva. There are so many tools that can help you draft CV for free. Even Microsoft Word has templates for CV. Use it and update your CV. Have it updated always, always. You're ready, whether you get the job or not, that's you're applying to. It already tells you that, or tells whoever you're submitting it to when you do promptly that this person is ready. Okay, prepare for your interview. And I'll say generally, one question that is usually asked during interviews is, tell me about yourself. I've heard different versions of stories. I'm from Ekiti-Pupa. I'm from this place. I'm like, you don't understand the context of the workplace. This is not Nigerian immigration that is asking you, tell me about yourself. This is a workplace. Come on, sell yourself. And one tip I'll tell you is that go back, and I did this, it helped me a lot. Write about yourself in a way you will like an employer to know you. An employer, unless they ask specifically where are you from, maybe because of something they're trying to decode or diversity and inclusion purposes, whatever, okay? But the generic question of tell me about yourself during an interview is sell yourself. What they're saying is sell yourself. At that point, if you're a fresh graduate and probably you've not worked in previous places, it's a good time to talk about what you graduated with. If it's a good degree, if it's not a good CGP, don't mention it. They're asking you to sell yourself. Don't go and put the worst foot out. Now, what can you talk about? Talk about your services you did while you're on campus. You talk about the volunteer jobs you did. You talk about how, you demonstrated certain skills they're probably listed on the JD. Think about how you demonstrated. It might be that, you taught somebody and they passed mathematics. So write about those things. Learn it, assimilate. It is who you are, and get ready for the interview. Okay, so prepare, tell your story. After you've prepared your CV, prepare yourself, not just your CV, yourself for the interview. It's very important. Again, like I said, do a summary about yourself. That even if somebody calls you when you wake up, tell me, and this is reality, tell me about yourself. You have an articulated way of presenting and selling yourself. It's very important. Get involved. Now, this is the thing, okay? There are so many ways you can build your profile. And because our audience today is probably uni undergraduates and fresh graduates, volunteer. Online, physical, build your profile. It tells employers about your service orientation. Because most people, all they care about is money. And once you care, money is very important. It's very, very important. It makes life easier. But if while you're done with service or in between service, okay, and there's no value you're bringing, you're not adding value. And I see somebody else that was volunteering over and over from uni, probably, it already stands the person out. Get involved. That's one way to get involved. Attend meetings like this. Once there's another one, attend. 1 hour, 30 minutes. We make a sheet that will help you in the next 1 year, 2 years. Get involved. It's very important for you. Expose yourself to training. You hear there's a conference and it's of interest or is in the line of career you want to get on. Attend it, push yourself. Don't be stuck in staying in one particular place. No, it's very important to get involved and push yourself out. Okay, in summary, okay, what we talked about so far today is we understood the concept of employability and employability skills. We got to know about the difference between graduateness and employability. We understood the key employability skills. We mentioned 8 of them, and we added extra. When we talked about the 2025 skills needed, top skills needed. We learned how to develop employability skills. Okay, and we also talked about the top 15 skills of 2025. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to your questions. So Cynthia, thank you so much. I think it's over to you now.
Thank you so much, Favor. That was a very amazing session. We really enjoyed it. I'm sure that you enjoyed it as well. And if you don't get anything, if you don't want to take anything home, take the fact that you need to improve on your CV. If you want to get employable, learn, challenge yourself. Like you heard her said, Google is her best friend, and no cap, right? She says that almost every time in the meeting. Google is our best friend. So if you have any challenge, like you don't know anything, you can actually ask Google, and Google will definitely do justice to that question. So this is actually the question and answer session. If you have questions, that you'd love responses to, kindly drop it in the comment section on YouTube. Please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos. You could even go back to, videos we've uploaded down, on our channel, watch them, learn, understand what we're doing, and probably share the video as well, okay? Okay, so this is time for you to ask your questions. We'll be waiting for questions. Okay, so also we have a very, very important program to announce. Just to say that a little bit before we get questions coming. TAP, right? We have TAP, and what does TAP means? It means Tech Talent Acceleration Program. Okay, if this is the first time you're hearing it, I'm breaking the news to you. It is Tech Talent Acceleration Program. Okay, TAP is actually an internship designed to bridge the tech skill, to bridge the tech skill gap in the agricultural value chain and Nigeria in general. Okay, it is a youth-oriented program that focuses on undergraduate, fresh graduate, core members, and tech enthusiasts, okay, that have minimal or zero knowledge of tech, and building them to be professionals in the tech space. And this year, good news, this year edition of TAP is absolutely free. And of course, it will be happening in Abuja and Zaria. And the courses that we'll be taking are data analytics in Zaria, front-end development, back-end development, and product UI and UX design. Please do not forget to fill in the attendance. The link is in the comment section. Fill in your name, okay? Very, very important. Also, do not forget to be having the assessment session where you would have to, do a few tests, okay? So that you would be issued a certificate at the end of the segment, okay? So let's take questions now. I think we have some few questions now, okay? And the first question is, Favor, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So the first question we have is, please talk about interview tension and how to manage it.
Okay, great. This is the thing. Preparation. The truth is, when you prepare for an interview, you either get the job or you don't get the job. But most times, what I've realized, and it might not be the case for everyone, is the fact that some people don't come to interviews prepared. They just hope and pray that they will get the questions right. No, getting a job is a job. Okay. And one of the things it means is that you need to do the job of getting that job. One thing is to prepare. Look at the JD. And I'm saying this pretty much straight up. Look at the JD of the job they advertised. Okay. If they shared one, or ask someone about the job, depending on your source of getting the information, find out what they are looking for. Prepare yourself along that line. They will probably list out the skills. Then you prepare yourself. Think about how you reflect those. Okay. Prepare yourself all through that line. When you do, rehearse over and over. And then the truth of the matter is that tell yourself that if you don't get this job, you just learn through the process and you move on. Do you understand? Now, there's very important information. Perception I need people coming for interview to know. The person interviewing you, okay, is also a human being. When you've prepared, again, remember I said prepare. Once you've prepared, gone through rehearse, if possible, rehearse your lines. I know they said they don't, but rehearse your lines so much so that you're confident, you own it. If possible, get somebody to interview you against those things. That's also another way. Somebody has reached out to me to say, okay, this is the job I'm applying for, interview me. Take the position of the interviewer and interview me, somebody that is skilled or somebody that is more experienced than you. So once you've done all of those preparation, I just thought to add that again. Remember that the person interviewing you is also a human being. Also remember that you can get the job, you cannot get the job. So don't get so nervous that if you don't get the job, as in everything is wrong at this point. No, you can get the job, you might not get the job. So you put your best foot forward so that you get the job. Also, in this time and age, some people, as they're interviewing you, you're also interviewing them to know if it's the job you even want. So think of it that way. You're dealing with humans. They're not even automated system. There's still someone behind that is looking at giving it the human touch. Okay, so it's very important. Prepare very well. Preparation for the interview. Also, your looks. Okay, come on time. That's also another thing you need to do. Come on time. Most times, when people are rushing to an interview venue, so all your adrenaline is still high. You've not relaxed. You've not gotten a grip of, you've not understood the environment. There's something that happens when you come early and you're staying and you're understanding, you're observing some things and you're feeling like, oh, this is home, or you're just making yourself feel comfortable. So it's very important. Okay. And then definitely you can get the job, you might not get the job. So those are the two. There's nothing else. Nobody's flogging, nobody's doing anything. So either I get the job or I don't get the job. And if I don't get the job, something better is on the way. I go back to improve myself. I learn from whatever I did wrong or did not do right. Do you understand? And I move on. I hope I answered that question. Yes.
Absolutely, Favor. So second question is it okay for one to have one CV with two different addresses?
So yes, and let me explain the context here. Like I said before, getting a job is a job. In fact, you might even have different CVs for different roles. Let me explain it. I studied biochemistry and I also have experience in HR. If I want to apply to a UN role tomorrow and it's maybe a laboratory or biochemistry related experience they need, and I want that, I think I can do it, I will fashion my CV in such a way that it will speak to what they are looking for. It is still me. Just the same way my name is Favor, I have my middle name. I can choose to use either Favor or my middle name at any point in time. The same way you can put a different address. For instance, maybe I live in Lagos and this row is in Abuja, and I know that I can move to Abuja. I can live with a friend there. I will use my friend's address and live there. But the point is, when they ask you, don't make the mistake of lying. Oh, I'm in Lagos, but I can move to Abuja. I have a friend that lives in Abuja and is willing to accommodate me. So you can use two different addresses. Tailor your CV, what's the content, what's your experience to what the JD says, okay? Because you can have different JDs, different CVs, different address. But the most important thing is that they are speaking to you as a person. It's not a fabricated, you're not lying on the CV to your experience, you just separated it. Okay, I hope that helps.
Okay, yes, Favor. So another one is, as an undergraduate studying biochemistry, but is transitioning to data analysis, I beg your pardon. How do I build a CV that makes me employable?
Okay, great. So first and foremost, what have you been doing on your journey of data analysis? If you've taken a number of trainings, which is the easiest to take a lot of trainings, attend trainings, do projects, volunteer. And I'm saying this very passionately. Seek for volunteer opportunities, just the same way you want to be employed. As you're learning whatever you're learning, seek for volunteer opportunities to apply whatever you're learning. It might even be a private primary school to help them do data analysis. Do something. Learn. Of course, you're learning from what I'm seeing. Transition to data analysis. You're learning and you're understanding, you're being trained. Follow industry experts in data analysis. It's part of the research to do. Go on Google and search industry experts. Follow them. Picture how they think while you're on your journey of learning, because it just gives you more insight on how to position and what is obtainable in the world of data analysis, okay? While you are doing that, it's not enough that you're learning. How are you applying? Like I said, look for any opportunity to volunteer, anywhere to volunteer that they might not, in fact, they probably will not pay you, okay? So, but apply those things so that when you now come to your CV, you will state what you've learned and you will also state how you applied in XYZ. I remember a CV of somebody that we were going to hire, and the person was a teacher in a primary school during NYC days. I think the person was a mathematics teacher. One of the things the person wrote on the CV was how he scaled up the students' mathematical ability from X to Y, and they were able to pass their exam with a particular rate. That's him applying his mathematical abilities and even looking at it, selling it to us. Okay, some other ones, they built a system, inventory system from what they know. So apply it somewhere. There's somewhere to apply it. But most times people are looking for, I'm on data analysis, I need a job already. You might not see that job because how do I even believe in yourself? Do something first before I believe in you. Do you understand me? Show me that you can do stuff before I would take a chance on you. Some people might take a chance on you because they know you personally, but the world of work is so wide. Nobody really know. Like some people, the people you're applying to might not know you, but it's your CV and what you've done that they'll bank on to take a chance on you. So, like I said earlier, learn, follow industry experts, and also apply whatever you're learning, any capacity. And when you do, know how to tell the story on your CV or on your social media handle. On your CV, definitely, or on your social media handle. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you so much, Favor. So another question here is, can you please share some CV samples?
Okay, so this is what I'll say, okay, because there are so many samples and it differs. Go on Canva. In fact, like I said, Google is your best friend, because instead of structuring or forcing to a particular model, go on Google, CV samples for any role you're applying for, CV samples for HR officer. You will see it. You will see it is there. Even on Canva, if you see it and you don't like the aesthetics there, but you see the flow, you see what they wrote, go on Canva. Canva is a design tool. Okay, go on Canva and apply the content there, fix it into the presentation and the visuals of what you want. Okay, so again, my dears, Google is your friend. So try and use that.
Google is your friend. Like I said earlier, that is her favorite line. Google is your friend. So next favor, can you tell us some platforms where we can learn these top 15 skills from? Google is your friend. That's one platform.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so
yeah.
online tools, Allison.com. And why I say Allison is this, because on Allison you can learn without paying a dime, but when you need certificates, you can now pay for the certificate. But as I am right now, I will tell you this. I have a lot of courses I've learned on Allison that I've not gotten their certificate from uni days. I've not gotten the certificate, but I have the skill. I have the knowledge. Okay. So Allison is one of those. YouTube also. There are a lot of resources around you. Cynthia already said it. Go on Google, you find out these courses. A lot of resources available there. LinkedIn Learn. If you even type communication skills, how to learn about communication skills in the corporate world, type it on Google, you see trainings, free trainings. I might not be able to pinpoint all of them, but I've said Allison, I've said YouTube. I learned a lot from YouTube on even a number of things spread across. A lot of people are putting out content there. So you can also get that to, help you.
Thank you, Favor. So another question here is, when you're in an interview and you're asked, why should we hire you? What is the best response to give?
Why should we hire you?
Yes.
So it varies. And one thing that comes to mind, if in most interviews I've sat in and why should we hire you, is tell me your unique selling points that you bring to this role. And it can be as simple as your negotiation skills. Like, it's not something, know yourself, man, know thyself. It can be as simple as, of course, you've seen the JD, you've seen what they're looking for. In JDs, they'll tell you what they're looking for, which is one of the things I said, prepare before you come. You look at the JD and all. Why say it, that unique thing that they feel like. It might even be your interpersonal skills. It might even be your network, depending the role. Why should we hire you? What value? Like, what is the distinguishing factor you're bringing to this role? What unique value are you bringing to this role? That's pretty much what they're asking. And you need to, it's an opportunity for you to sell yourself. If you've negotiated deals before, you've worked with a team that was difficult, and maybe the role is a team lead role, it's that point to say, oh, I bring team leadership to this role because I've done XYZ and I can apply it here and I know it will move. At senior levels, it varies. You might bring in numbers, how you've moved XY in difficult situations. And for you to even know that properly, you need to, of course, like I said, research about the role. If you have information about it, research about the company to even give you context. Sometimes when you research about the company on Google again, you find out where they're coming from. A company that has experienced, crisis, reputational crisis before, you might have something that can give them the edge. Okay, so it's a good time to, in fact, it's even a good time to speak to their sentiments. Speak to their sentiments with your value. I hope I answered that question.
Yes, Favor, thank you. Another question here is, how do we build teamwork skill when you're working in a remote area?
That's a very big question. That's a very, very big question. Now, teamwork skills when you're working, top of mind, I would say, because some teams are remote, international, you might never get to see, but there are many activities you can do, what's it called, online in your team. My team was also remote. We did a particular activity some time ago and we engaged. Another thing you can also do in your immediate environment, because teamwork is not only when you're working with your team, it's a mindset they affect how you also work. Volunteering is also a great way to learn this thing. I am big on volunteering. I am very big because volunteering helps you. How I put it, because you're not being paid for that job, and you're doing it with your whole heart and learning and getting better at it. You're able to translate it effectively to roles where you are paid. Do you understand? So if, for instance, you have your team members, US, frequent meetups, conversation. Also, another thing that can help you is get to know the people beyond the job. As a leader, most likely, get to know the people beyond the job. Get to know about their idiosyncrasies, how they think, and you can do this off work-related hours, okay? And of course, there's virtual conversations to have. That's virtual, still virtual. But more than that, if for whatever reason you don't have them in your location, volunteer, look for volunteer. And volunteering is not only organizations, religious organizations, corporate organizations, you will learn the skills. Okay. And in fact, one thing I would always say, because from my experience, I find that some people that don't work so well in team is a mindset thing, it's a psychological thing. You can do a quick assessment of your personality, 16 personality assessments. Who are you? Like, understand yourself. Please, somebody on the team, search out 16 personality assessment, and you can drop it in the chat for 16 personality. Understand yourself. How are you with team? It will even give you an idea of, how you are, self-awareness, so that you know how to relate. You know how you respond to certain situations, and you are conscious of your own strength or weakness, as the case may be, and you are able to, work on it. For some people, they are very volatile. If you realize you're very volatile, you can choose to address situations with your team, because in teamwork also is the negotiation or frictions and all. You can choose to work around it in a way that you will not be triggered. So it's very important to also know yourself. I've said so many things, but I hope the person that asked that question got value, which is one, figure out how you can still communicate outside work, other non-work related stuff with these team members, and you can do it virtually. There's WhatsApp video call, there's just chats, conversation, WhatsApp status, commenting, all those interpersonal things, okay, to just buy a mind share of the person, to deposit the emotional bank. Okay, that's a interpersonal relationship if you are far apart, so that when it's time to have conversation to agree on certain things, you guys are able to reach a resolution. That's still far apart. But in the meantime, in your immediate environment, look for how to volunteer, give value, learn. In volunteering, you learn how to relate, how to take feedback, how to negotiate, how to work with people, and it's not be your way or the highway. Hope that helps.
Thank you, Favor. Thank you so much. Next question is, how and what is the best answer to financial expectation questions?
Okay, so this is it. In healthy, non-toxic organizations, they already have a budget for a role. And I tell people there's it's a range, lower, medium, and the high rate band. Okay, so when you are asked what's your salary expectation, have you done your research? What's the obtainable pay in the industry, in the market? It's part of the work you do. Getting a job is a job. Why? When you get that, okay, now assess yourself. The skills for this JD, the JD that they generated, okay, how many of the skills, because nobody really comes to a job 100% ready for that job, but assess yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever percentage, how well. If how well, then decide what is convenient for you. When you are done with that, have all of those metrics. Now judge the organization. For instance, you will not expect a startup to pay you as much as a multinational will pay you. If you decide to go and work with a startup, know that the pay will not be the same. So you don't have unrealistic expectations. But that's the point. So what you say back, I just have to give this background so that what you now ask them is that, what are you offering for the role? Okay. If they insist, you share what your own expectation is. Share what your own expectation. The expectation that if they pay you today, you'll be okay. You will not feel disgruntled. So you've seen the JD. But as the job changes, maybe you get on the job and the job changes, it's a good time to renegotiate, because what they asked you to come and do that you negotiated for has changed. So it's a good time to renegotiate. I hope I answered that question for that person. Was that clear enough?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question is, do we need cover letter in applying for all jobs?
It depends on what the employer is asking for. The employer will always state what they're asking for. Okay, but this is what I would say: if an employer or an organization is not using ATS, applicant tracking system, and they ask you to send your CV to an email, come on, stand out, do a body, a cover letter. Like the email you attach, don't just attach your CV, attach the CV and send to the email. I'm like, are you serious? No. Okay, what you can do is go online, research. In fact, you can even, you can just go online. Maybe it's a HR officer role, and they said attach your CV. After you've worked on your CV, of course, remember I said go on Google and said sample CV for HR officer. Example of HR, you've reworked your CV to meet that standard, reflecting your person, not copying and pasting verbatim. Because if you do copy and paste verbatim, it's already a red flag. It means that you're not taking initiative. It means that you're lazy. Okay, after you've done that, the cover letter or cover email, sample email for HR office, you will get a sample, reword it, rephrase it. Now there's ChatGPT. If you copy it and paste it in ChatGPT and rephrase it, it will become unique. Okay, there's another tool you can use, Quillbots, to also rephrase. Do you understand me? You now have something unique. So when you have that, you can now send it alongside with your email. It stands you out. The person wants to even read that, oh, okay, this person is making sense. So it depends, like I said, it depends on the employer. If they ask for it, please do it. Apply what I said. If they do not ask for it, maybe they're using an applicant tracking system. Now you just attach a number of things, whatever they ask you. But if they ask you send your CV to email, please attach in that email you're sending. The body of the email should be stellar. It should be captivating. It should make the person want to open your CV and say, oh, this person is unique. And please, again, like I said, communication skills, your punctuation, your capitalization, very important. Your formatting in the cover letter, very important, because these are the things that can easily stand you out or make you join the others. Okay, so it's very important.
Thank you, Favor. How do you give a good impression about oneself during an interview?
Okay, first thing I'll say is your appearance. After you've prepared, I don't want to go over the preparation I've talked about before. Your appearance, make sure you invest in your looks, okay? And how I put it, for the role in question, look your best. Look your best, okay? Don't be the shabby one. And then when you get there, listen attentively to what they're saying and in between the line. Listen attentively. Some people, when they come to interviews, they already have what they want to say. So even if you're asking them A, they're answering you Z. Okay? You need to listen attentively. Wear a smile. Like, in fact, let me start. Good impression, right? You look good, you smell good. Some people, they come to interview and I cannot even, that was when I was still doing physical interview in my previous, I cannot even engage because I'm already repelled. I'm trying to breathe. I'm gasping for air. Smell good, okay? Look good, smell good, listen attentively, use body language that communicates interest and confidence, not overconfidence or arrogance, okay? Because some people, they don't know the line, okay? Okay, use body language that sit upright, smile, look straight into their eyes. Do you understand me? Engage politely, ask questions where you're not clear about to clarify, okay? When you get feedback, oh, thank you so much, I didn't see that way. Make yourself pleasant. Somebody that is likable. You might end up not being their best choice, but they're like, this person fits our culture, this person is pleasant. Okay, let's see, and it's teachable. Do you understand? So I've mentioned a number of things that can make you give the right impression, and I hope that helped. Look good, smell well, smell well when you get there. Listen attentively to understand. If possible, if they ask a question you don't understand, ask them, this is what I understood from what you're saying. Is that what you mean? Okay. so that you would be sure you guys are on the same frequency and you're not speaking out of points. Okay.
Thank you so much, Favor. The question here is, when is TAP internship starting?
Okay, so for now, we're speculating April. And the reason we're speculating is because we want to make it amazing. It's going to be grand, like, oh, it's breathtaking. So we want to make sure we have everything the way you would want it. Of course, we have our resource people, but a lot of experience we want to create around it. So speculating April 3rd, speculating, okay? But the process, like we mentioned to the TAP applicants, this is the first criteria to filter people. We have a lot of applications, so we need to filter people out, okay? So this is the first step. It will be in quick succession, the screening process, quick successions, okay? So that's that for TAP.
Okay, so another one is, how do I look for volunteering opportunities?
Okay, so like I said, volunteering opportunities, for those of us that are Christian or Muslim, as the case may be, your church is the first place to volunteer, or your Islamic school is the first place to volunteer. And sometimes when you're volunteering, you might not be responsible for any particular thing per time, but you're undergoing training. That's one religious. Go on Google, okay, volunteer. I've had people reach out to me personally to say, okay, I want to work with you, free of charge, of course. I want to help you do this. They reached out to me. I want to help you do this, or these are the things I can do, and I would like to offer you this service. So even individuals need volunteer. And trust me, those people on those journey, how do I put it? I'm not saying people should come and reach out to me, okay? My team are amazing. They're helping me out. But I'm just saying, when you follow industry experts, you can reach out to them. Oh, I offer this service and I'd like to do it free of charge for this period of time. Do you know somebody? Would you be in need of it, or you know somebody? You can also search Google volunteer opportunities around you. There are many organizations, NGOs especially. If you identify NGOs and go to them, say, oh, I want to volunteer, they will create opportunity because they're not paying you. They'll create opportunities. So it abounds. Like I said, you can do it in your religious organizations. You can do for personal. You find out industry experts that you probably feel like you're on the path you want to go through, and you have digital skills or anything. You want to manage their social media hand. You want to do anything. Reach out to them on LinkedIn or personal, however you're able to contact them. Okay. You can also search on Google, okay, for NGOs to volunteer with. It abounds.
So just to mention, okay, attendance link is still up there. It's already pinned to the comment section. Do well to register your attendance on the Google Sheets, please. And also do not forget to subscribe if you're just joining. We are in the question and answer segment. And of course, our head of department, people and culture department, has been doing justice to all your questions. Okay, so moving on, Favor. Next question here is, please advise me. I want to change from my profession to another.
Okay. So I wouldn't know what the profession is. Hi, Cynthia.
Yes, Favor, I can hear you.
That's all the question, right? Changing from one profession to another.
Yeah. Yes, that's all the question.
So it depends the level you are at. I wish I had context, but you go through the process. There's something I tell people, you go through the process, which is assuming, for instance, I studied biochemistry. Even though, like I said, my biochemistry course, immediately I was out of school, I started my internship in HR, internship straight up. Okay, let me use an example. I had someone that was transitioning from a particular experience in their space, but transitioning to HR. And the person reached out that I just want to start, know the rudiments. I want to start. So you learn, which is another place volunteering comes in. Identify someone or somebody volunteer and follow industry experts in that space you want to transition into. They will even give you updated information. Follow them on LinkedIn. Be active on LinkedIn. Follow them on LinkedIn. Even if you don't comment, you like. The more you follow, the more you learn, the more you hear conversations. Attend trainings like this, meetings like this. Those free ones that you are seeing, maximize it. Okay, you start learning so much on that part, and you start learning some of things to apply. And of course, there might be certifications on that part to go on to get on it and get on that journey. Okay, and if while you're on that journey, you've not gotten a job, volunteer. Okay, but the truth is that when you're moving from a particular role, no matter how experienced you are, you might have to take some steps down for the new role to learn the ropes up. Hope that helped.
Yes, Favor, thank you. Another question here is, during your job interview, tell us what your biggest weakness is. How do you answer this question? Like questions when they ask you, what are your weaknesses?
Okay, so it's a dicey one, I'll be frank, because some people might accuse that information. But if I am to ask, I'm trying to, do design thinking and put myself to ask that question. What I really want to know is, are you self-aware? One, are you self-aware? Do you know yourself so much? And beyond being self-aware, because some people might be like, I'm hot-tempered. What are you doing? What have you done? Okay, because I just don't want to know how will your weakness help me? Okay, but it's probably to know how self-aware are you? Are you aware of your weakness and strengths? Do you know yourself that much? Because if you know yourself, it helps a number of things. And then what are you doing to improve it? So I'd say this: when you're responding, no matter what you're responding, don't stop at saying what your weakness is. Say what you are doing to improve it, or what you have done to improve it. Don't just stop at, oh, time management, I'm not great at time management, or I don't meet. Again, so, but so far I've gotten a digital solution that wakes me up, that tells me, I impute it, I use my calendar or my alarm. You need to speak to how you're improving. But for whatever reason they're asking you, you need to be self-aware, share it, okay? Of course, like I would say, don't be too personal, don't get too personal, because the workplace is not a personal space, especially during interview, okay? However, no matter what you share how you're improving, so they know that this is something you're doing, yeah? And if you go and lie that what you're doing, if you lie to me during interview, I know, one, because with experience you just know. So it means that what this is saying invariably is that if you're not self-aware, find out what your weaknesses are. Personally, I know some of the things that can trigger me, okay? And I know the things I can do without thinking twice, okay? So, and I know what I'm doing. It means that I have, for those things that can trigger me, or those things that are my weakness, so to say, I need to be constantly improving. So that if somebody asks me in the future, I'll say, oh, this is it, but this is what I'm doing to improve. Yes.
Thank you so much, Favor. So question here is that program a remote program?
No, it's not a remote program. It is physical because it's intensive. The goal for us is to have solid tech talents. So it's intensive, 6 months intensive program. And if you know the world of tech, 6 months is not a guarantee. Like doing a remote 6 months, you might not get as much value, but once classroom teaching, instructors guiding you with your laptop there with you. Okay, so it's physical.
So another question here is CV and cover letter the same? Can you hear me, Favor?
Yes, I can hear you. No, they are different. CV and cover letter are different now. CV speaks to your experience, your background, for your educational background, your experience, your achievements you've done in your CV. It's more detailed. Cover letter is supposed to be a killer pitch. How will I put it? It's like summarizing everything you've done and I'm trying to look for how to explain it so that maybe I've done in my CV, I stated in my CV that I moved from here to on a particular job, I achieved a particular result, and another job, I achieved another result. On my cover letter, one thing I can say, I cannot now start stating that on this job I achieved this. I cannot say I am an excellent executor, proven by my achievement or my milestones I achieved in my previous organization or in my current organization or my current role. Do you understand? The CV will go into details to state, oh, I moved X from Y location to Z location. CV will state it. But on cover letter, I summarize I'm an excellent executor. So CV is like a summarized selling points, summarized experience you have to pitch a point, to make a point. In fact, it's like I'm trying to look for how to say it. It's like a way to drag the person to even want to look at your CV. But of course, it should be a reflection of your CV.
So a very similar is, do we need cover letter in applying for all jobs?
So like I said before, it depends on the employer. If the employer asks for it, because the truth is that some employers ask for cover letter just to see your writing communication skills. Because some people on CV, they can package, but their written or their email writing skills, zero. So if an employer asks for, or send along with the cover letter, do. If they don't ask, and they asked you to send to an email, please add a cover letter. Let me explain this again. Some employers, they use ATS, applicant tracking system. With that, they might ask, they might not ask, because they'll put the settings, upload CV, upload passport, photograph, and all. So applicant tracking system, if they ask, fine. But if they did not ask, but they asked you to send your CV to a particular email, something at gmail.com or at travelagreed.com, please add cover letter. Cover letter, I mean, in this context, is not adding it as Word document. That email you want to attach, put the title, application for this, dear HR manager, dear recruiting team, dear this one, I'm favor, and I'm an excellent executor, or I'm a great, sell yourself. Like I said, you can get a sample of that on Google.
Thank you so much, Favor. A similar question here is motivation letter the same with cover letter? Motivation letter the same with cover letter?
It depends. Motivation letter is usually for education application, okay? And cover letter, in this context, the general cover letter definition that we know is for employee, like employment application. But motivation letter can also be cover letter because it goes with whatever application you are making. Okay, so motivation is usually for education application. Why do you want to? Okay, but if an organization tells you to write motivation letter, okay, you now craft it again. Google is your friend. Go on Google, motivation letter for HR officer role. Adapt it to fit.
Yeah, thank you, Favor. Is TAP a paid internship program?
No, by paid, we're not paying the interns because trust me, with the kind of experience, with the kind of value you're getting so much more than whatever payments in our would might want to offer you. Okay, so we're not paying for it. We're not paying interns. We're training you, is like we're asking you to come to school instead of you to pay school fees. We say don't pay, we got you. Okay, so it's not paid.
So a question here is, for those in Zaria, how can we apply?
So this is it, because we're running a pilot now, which is in Abuja, which is our headquarters. We'll have subsequent TAP programs spread across. Okay, but now it's our baby. We're starting, and we want to get everything right here, create the right experience, then we spread into other locations. So if you're not going to be in Abuja, you can be anywhere in the world, but you know that you're coming to Abuja for the classes. Good and fine. But if you're not going to be in Abuja, then you might wait till when we come to your location.
Okay, I think you just answered a question of someone who was asking, how about those of us who are in Kano and other states in Nigeria? How do we apply for this? Thank you so much, Favor. Another question here is, I know it won't be an easy task, but I believe I'll be speaking for many people here. When I plead with your team to help find a way to make the TAP internship program available remotely. Still talking about how the TAP program can get across to everyone.
Okay, so like I said, it's intensive. And if you've ever taken any courses online, for the quality of people, tech talents we want to get out, it's intensive. We can't do it remotely yet. Do you understand? So it's going to be for 6 months. Maybe when in the subsequent cohorts that we do, maybe it will not be 1 year and then we can do remote. Okay, but we want to get everybody joining us, assumed fresher, blank from, like, they'll be done with beginners level, software design, at least almost mid-level developer or designer. So you can see how intensive it is. It's not one of those programs where let's just tick the box. No, we even need the talent ourselves. Do you understand? So we want to give quality to these guys to make sure that they meet our needs also. So you're being trained intensively so that you can come join the team. Okay?
Okay,
So
so
for now, I can't do remotes.
as our last question, because of time, please, is the internship for newbies?
Yes, that's what I just said, which is we if you're interested in tech, you think you want to do UI UX, front end or back end, and you don't know a thing, you are the one we're looking for. If you know something, we still are looking for you. Okay. So if you don't know anything, but you think this is it for you, good and fine. You're the one, because the curriculum is from the scratch. We don't need you to know anything. We just need you to be sure this is what you want to do and be interested to go through the process. So I'd like to mention that it's going to be intensive and rigorous, because 6 months, you need to be ready. Okay. So you don't need to know anything, but you just come ready and hungry to get to know as much as you want to get started, or you need to get started.
Thank you so much, Favor. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. We'll have to let Favor chill for now while we proceed with the other planned out activities for this event. Thank you,
Yeah,
Favor.
thank you.
So,
Thank you.
if you're just joining, you've actually missed out, I must say, in a lot of wonderful and beautiful, amazing content. Okay, but then it's not too late. Okay, you can actually get this information on our Tribe Academy, and do not forget earlier I mentioned concerning the assessment. Okay, where you'll be issued certificates after your assessment. So watch out in the comment section. Okay, link will be shared right now for you to be able to do your assessment and be issued a certificate. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, comment, okay, share our content as well. So at this point, I think it is almost time we'll be rounding off. Also, do not forget to write down your attendance, okay? Fill the attendance sheet, very important. We'd also like to hear feedback from you as well. Okay, Favor, I don't know if you have anything to say before we actually go down to vote of thanks and announcement.
Nope. Thank you so much for coming on, and we hope you got value. Thank you so much. So Lexington has probably mentioned we'll be having subsequent series. So you need to follow us on our social media handle, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, so that once we're having the next edition of a very interesting topic like this, where you can ask questions, which is the focus for us, so you get real-time questions and you're better equipped. Once we're having it, you know, and you'll be able to attend. Okay, 1 hour, 30 minutes for, an improvement of a lifetime. It's worth it. Thank you, Cynthia. You can continue.
Thank you, Favor. Please, we are sharing our feedback link on the comment section. Please do well to give us a feedback. Tell us what you think, okay? Because this is our first edition, our maiden edition. We would definitely be doing this again, and getting your review and feedback would help us improve on our events. On behalf of the management of Thrive Agric and Cross Africa, I would want to appreciate each and every one of you for being present here today. We do hope you enjoyed every bit of this event, okay? Please feel free to fill out the feedback form. Let us know what you think about today's event, okay? And we'll be sending emails to look out for it as well, okay? Thank you, everyone, once again. My name is Cynthia Ijoma Izala, saying do enjoy the rest of your evening, okay? Bye, guys.